Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to Birdoggydog's Let's Play of Edge of Space Beta. This is my first Let's Play, so feel free to comment, let me know how the sound is. I tried to get the mic placement pretty good. Let me know if there's anything specific you think I should change or can work on. Feel free to troll me. I love trolls. They're like my favorite thing in the world. So, with that, let's go ahead and get started. I've done a little bit of this already, so we're going to delete my character and world and restart. So that you see all the basic systems. Options are pretty bland, volume basically for everything. I've got everything set pretty low here. You can do multiplayer, so you can create a server, which I guess, you know what? Oh, can't do right now. Well, there you go. Could probably connect to one, theoretically, but we won't bother. So I guess single player it is. Let's go ahead and delete Birdoggydog and recreate him. Oh. And Birdoggydog. Alright, so basic avatar creation stuff, head, hair color, accessories. We are going to go with a sick mustache. Ooh, that's a hell of a chin. We need a chin like that. Some emo guys. I like the mohawk on this character, but we're not going to do that. We're definitely going to go with the geek hair. I already know, I'm pretty sure, yeah, well, let's give him some wild hair. This is the third time I've tried this. The other two had some audio issues, so I'm a little, I was doing a more normal person, but now I think we're gonna have, I think we should have like blue hair if we can. That's pretty close. Alright, blue hair it is. I believe that is a brain slug. I'm convinced that's the Futurama brain slug. If you disagree with me, well, you're wrong. And with that, I believe we've got Birddog made. I guess I can show you some of the other accessories real quick. That's a great looking dude. I don't know what is going on there. It kind of looks to me, yeah, I have no idea. Brain slug it is. So, you select yourself, blah, 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 and then we're going to delete Birdoggia, and we are going to create oh man, there we go. Birdoggydog. Alright. We'll add an extra letter. I don't know how their generation works. There's not really any indication of what's going on. I don't know if they're doing really random generation or if there's, procedurally generated. My apologies for all of you nerds out there. There's not really any indication of what's going on. I just built this computer from parts, so it's pretty up to date. I don't know what the loading time for this screen is going to be for other people. For me, it's reasonably fast. It would be nice to have some updates, as to what's going on. So we'll start with the tutorial, I guess. That also, just a quick aside, I hate this sound effect. Absolutely despise it. And if there is a developer watching this video, I ask you humbly to change it. Alright, so, basic tutorial here. Check out droids in crafting in the armor section. We will do that. I hadn't noticed that before. So, basic movement, stuff like that. Selectables you hover the mouse over an item and hit F to interact with it. Your equipped items are mapped to Q and E. You have one selected and you switch through them. I'm not a fan of that. I would much prefer that equippables were on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. What they've actually done is set crafting to 1 and refinery to 2, which I think is, it makes me unhappy. Jump, you have a lovely space pack that requires energy here. That is a real nuisance, and there's some creatures out there that love nothing but to suck away your energy, which can make for some problems. Escape, character window, placeables, I don't... Oh. Really? You wonder. Master cryopods cannot be moved. Alright, well there you go. That's how placeables work. The grammar, so a little pet peeve. The grammar in the tutorial is a little sloppy at points. One time to select, which brings a red arrow of what you're about to pop. Put an apostrophe there, guys. Come on. And an E. All right. Hit X again to then pop it. You cannot move while you are doing this. Popping is apparently a very, very taxing task. Death, there's a lot of text here to basically say that when you die, if you don't have a clone, you drop everything. If you do, you wake up in the cryopod with all your stuff on you. You can bind to different cryopods, that sort of thing. As you can see, this critter's not actually doing any damage. It's just sucking my life force, my energy. Death, yeah, so cryopod and cryoids, which is I guess what they call clones, are available in that screen that they pointed at, the crafting screen, which we'll get to under medical. Crafting 101, we'll do that in a second. I'm fairly comfortable with crafting. Refining, science is awesome. I concur with them on this point. So anything that says inorganic must be refined, and that's it. Alright, cool. And then they tell you to check out the character screen at the end, so we'll do a quick example of that. You have health, energy, sort of basic regeneration stuff. I imagine gear ups that. It doesn't appear that you gain like experience or anything like that. Gather distance, which is I guess something you can expand. And tech modifier, I don't really know what that does yet. All of these basic resistances, nice with a little sci-fi twist that makes me happy. Dodge, accuracy, critical stuff, you know, speed, jump, all of the sort of gravity factor. I have a feeling that's going to be a lot of fun to play with. I don't know that yet, but I suspect you'll be able to make some really cool traps doing that. If you can, for example, put replaceable like gravity change pads, right, that like launch something that stands up it and changes the gravity on it for a while. That would be really cool. You know, there's some potential for them to do some really neat things with this game. That's part of the reason why I'm really excited for it. Exposure, which I'm not sure what that actually does. I've seen it already a couple of times and suffered from it, but I don't know what it does. So with that, we need to do, before we can really make anything, I'm going to need to gather some basic materials. Dirt is magical, and I recommend that you pick it up whenever you have the opportunity. We can make a gun out of dirt and rocks. I don't really understand how that works. I wish I did, because if I could make functional guns out of dirt and rocks, I suspect, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd be filthy rich, and this could be something I did actually all the time, as opposed to just, you know, on the evenings when I'm bored and dodging actual work. So let's see here. Rock, we've got 16. We're going to need at least 15 of each, I think, to do the gun. So if we go to 1, and we go to guns, and we go to rifles, the dirt cheap, which is, you know, if that's what I am, well, so be it. So rocks, you need 15 of those, and then you need 15 casings, which is apparently dirt. So, you know, not sure how that makes sense. As you can see, this is another example of some spacing issues, right? You know, I complained about the kerning in the other videos in the tutorial. It's not quite as bad here, but in the tutorial dialogue, it's pretty gnarly. Gun, weapon stats, damage, accuracy, clip size, crit rate, fire rate, reload time, all fairly standard weapon stats. You know, nothing there that's sort of surprising. Again, I don't really understand the ammo concept. I don't have any ammo, but this gun will happily slaughter these annoying jellyfish. So far, I've seen jellyfish, bunny rabbits, fireflies or something, and vicious rocket-spewing robots, which is kind of a sudden and dramatic shift in tempo in terms of enemies that you face. It's sort of nothing, and then, oh, hi there, robot-spewing demon creature. Techno beast. So with that, I think the next thing we're going to want to try and make is an enhanced laser pick, and that's going to require some organics, some more rocks. Oh, a whole lot of rocks. Alright, well, we should get to it. I think this is organic here. Or no, that might actually be uranium biomass. Okay, yeah. So I'm not totally used to the tiles yet, so how much biomass do we need? 5, probably. Alright, well, we'll just harvest all of this. Lord knows, you never... We need radioactive ore for circuitry. So, okay. I wonder. I know I found uranium, titanium. Don't know that I found anything else ore-wise so far. I'm pretty sure there's probably like copper and steel and other things like that. The other things that are really useful at the beginning are clay. From what I can tell, just about every tile in the game is going to be useful for multiple recipes, which is kind of cool. I'm a little concerned that it might make it puts less of an emphasis, I guess, on the exploration factor, right? Because if you can build weapons with dirt, well, then you don't really have to go get titanium for your weapons until later. The pressure's not as high. Now that might change once you start fighting more specific and deadly monsters. I can totally see that happening. As your motivations change. So how much rock do we have? So here's something, crafting-wise, that I've noticed that I would like to see sort of improved, is that I can click this and I can see what's required, but there's no indication of what in my inventory actually fits those needs, and there's no indication, and I have to do a lot of clicking, right? So in order for me to actually move something over there, I have to, let's go from scratch here, so R and 1, which, is a little weird. So I have to go R1, and then I have to select the item I want to craft, so if it was the enhanced laser pick, then I have to figure out, okay, well, what has a frame on it? Nothing is so I got the rocks, right? So we've got rocks, we've got clay, which doesn't fit those, so you spend an awful lot of time, and then every time I want to place something, I've got to do this. It just seems like that could be streamlined. That entire process could be improved fairly easily, even if it was just, inventory highlighting of items, color coding maybe, right? So you could do something like color code each of these, so red, blue, green, and then in your inventory, right, have highlight the square red, blue, green, right, for the things that suit those needs. I mean, just something to make it a little more rapid, because that's an awful lot of hovering and time wasted just trying to find the things that suit. Now, there's some expertise building there that, maybe is rewarding in the long run when you realize, oh, well, I've memorized that dirt has these 4 properties and is useful in these recipes. To me, I don't really care about memorizing that kind of crap. I not a skill that I have any interest in having for any length of time. I memorize plenty of things, so it just, I don't know, seems a little gratuitous to expect us to do that all the time. Tile sets, and everything like that, I'm pretty happy with overall. They could be a little more varied, so it looks to me like they're kind of reusing one tile. I can't swear by it, but, for each thing it looks like it's got sort of an external tile and then an internal tile. It would be nice to see that varied up just a little bit. As you can see, the resources as well are all basically right along the surface here. I'm finding uranium in significant quantities within moments of starting. That is not particularly a bad thing, I guess I should point out. Uranium's good stuff, and I have nothing against it being right near my spawn point. But it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a lot of depth to the resource gathering element here. That'll may change over time. They're saying on the forums that their goal is to make this more of a survival, man versus nature. I want to think like if you played Fallout New Vegas, right, and you've done it on the hardcore mode where you've got thirst and hunger and stuff like that. I don't know if they're actually planning on implementing that, but that's the tone that they're sort of trying to say that this game is going to take. That's to differentiate it, I guess, from Starbound, which is really meant, at least from, and I haven't really trolled the Starbound forums in the same way I have the Edge of Space forums, but, Starbound is supposed to be more of like an exploration-based, playground kind of thing, I guess, whereas this is really meant to be more about intense combat situations and building fortifications and things like that. something you may have noticed as I'm running around here, and I want to give a substantial amount of praise for this particular UI improvement, is you'll notice that if I'm mining this block and I decide, oh, well, I want to mine the background, it's just a right click to change the mode that you're in. That is a wonderful thing, and I'm very grateful that they implemented that. It's a nice smoother of the interaction there. You know, it's interesting. I'm hoping they give you the ability to like remap keys. They've already said, I actually asked about this and it's in the features list. They are intending on adding controller support, which, you know, once that comes in, I will definitely be playing it that way. To me, that is a really good thing. I don't actually like playing games with mice all that much, so, you know, I do it when I have to, but particularly things like this where I have to hold the mouse button down all the time, that to me is not a pleasant experience, so I try to find opportunities to not do that. So we need 40 rock. How much rock do I have? It looks like I have about 1. I've got, do I have enough biomass? I do. Is the uranium count for, looks, nope, oh, that's a bummer. Inorganic, I'm gonna have to refine it, probably. So let's try that. R, and then, what the heck is 2? Alright, so refine. Alright, start. Inorganic, mineral, or radioactive. Perfect. Okay, so we just need to get ourselves a whole lot of rocks. Alright, well, let's get on that. You're going to see me do that a lot. I want to hit escape to exit these menus, because when I get a bunch of them up, it's kind of tedious to close them. I don't know if there's a close all button. It's very possible that there is, and I just don't know about it. So if there is, and you want to rub it in my face and tell me that you're better because you know it, just post it in the comments, and or because you actually want me to know what I'm doing. I suppose that's an allowable reason. I don't know why you would wish well on me, but, you know, I appreciate it. Rocks. Oh, aluminum's good. So aluminum can be used for making very fine electronics, nice toilets, which, you know, is an important thing in a man's life, is a good toilet. We're going to try and collect as much of aluminum, any metals that we see, really, because they are substantially rarer than the rocks. As you can see, though, right, like the rock, in order to build a enhanced plasma thing, which I believe will speed up our harvesting and allow us to harvest further away, that sort of thing, in order to do that, we need a lot of rocks. And, you know, why that's involved in making advanced plasma technology, I can't really tell you. It's apparently useful as a, well, let's find out what exactly we're going to use the rocks for. Frames. So, yeah, I don't know what we're doing to the rock. You know, I'm thinking like stones and stuff that I'm finding, you know, and I don't really get how that makes sense, but I'm not going to argue with it, really, because it allows me to rapidly create ridiculous things like hyper advanced plasma harvesting techniques and tools. So, you know, you accept the gifts you get, I suppose. I like the backgrounds. I don't know if I've mentioned this in this video, but I kind of am reminded, you know, it's not so apparent here, but once I get into a combat situation with some enemies, it kind of makes me think of Cortex Command a little bit. You know, art style and combat style sort of combined. Which isn't, you know, it's not a bad thing. I enjoyed Cortex Command. It was, the physics were a little ridiculous for me. You know, it got a little silly, but I suppose on the whole one can't complain too much about that. I mean, you know what you're getting walking into that game. It was fun to blow the hell out of stuff. But, you know, it was also hard to actually accomplish anything serious in it. I think I did mostly the base invasion and base defense games in that. you know, if you've played it, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, well, you should play it. It's worth it, and it's not too expensive. I think it's like $10. And it's definitely, you know, for the amount of fun you can get out of it, worth its $10 price tag. Oh yeah, so about that, this game is on Steam right now. It's a early access beta that you can do through Steam. I think it's $11.99 if you buy at the entry level, or $24.99. I can't remember for the super cool "We love your game and want to marry you" pack. That pack is the one I got because, let's be honest, I'm a Terraria addict, and so when I heard that there were 2 Terraria games coming out, or Terraria, you know, successors in space coming out, I got really giddy because I'm also a computer nerd. Let's see here. I was getting rock and got distracted by this massive plethora of aluminum. Let's get back to our actual job here, which is making a better cutter. I keep thinking aluminum is rock because I'm kind of dumb. So apparently digging straight down is definitely the way to do this. I don't know why that is, but I won't argue with that. All right, so let's do our. Okay, so as you can see, oh, that's dirt. Grabbed the wrong stuff. So like I said, rocks and dirt, really, you know, they're just sort of these mystical items used for just about anything you can imagine. Except biomass, yeah, that's what we wanted there. And then the uranium. So let's go ahead and do our science. Much less tape used to keep it together. Well, I'm actually quite happy to hear that. So we're gonna get rid of our dirt cheap laser pick. That's funny. What the heck? So, alright, that was weird. Yeah, it's a little squishy on how you get items into and out of your inventory. I'm not, you know, or out of inventory slots. Yeah, that seems faster. I can't actually quite tell. I think, yeah, that's substantially faster. And it looks like it's got a longer range. So that's cool. We should really next, probably now that we've got the enhanced laser pick, probably gather some clay and some other metals so that we can get our basic toilet built up, and then our computer monitors, because no nerd's house is complete without a nice, you know, handy computer monitor. I'm just sort of digging around for the moment. So let's set a goal here. I think the first thing we want to do. So little fun here. They've got a power system, which has a nice selection of logic gates and time gates and stuff like that. We might do some things there. I have a fairly, not large, but enough experience with that stuff from school and then from work that I can probably do some basic tutorials. You know, you can, I mean, it's already obvious, right, just with a couple of these gates and pressure plates, right? You can set up all kinds of really cool little stuff, and if they let you set up turrets and things like that and trigger them, you could actually set up really cool traps and automated defense systems. So that's something I really hope they provide the ability to do, because that would make this game much cooler than it might otherwise be. You know, just that level of ability to set up forts and then invade each other's forts and stuff, you know, if you're doing multiplayer, could really be a lot of fun. I don't know what the player versus player combat aspect of this might or might not be. You know, hard to tell at this point because multiplayer's disabled. Oh lord. Yeah, so that's a common way of death for me so far. I'd say that's actually the, other than robots with missiles randomly showing up and slaughtering me, that is the main way that I've perished. Is just sort of randomly falling off a cliff and not having enough battery pack to survive the tumble. Where to put our home? This is kind of an awkward... You know, these floating islands do not make for great housing opportunities, so we're going to do it here. We're going to just camp mine away underneath it, so, and I can't move it, which sucks. it would be nice to be able to move that into my house instead of having it outside at some point. So let's go to here. Let's go to structure. So again, I'm struck, you know, by this thing where it would just be so nice to be able to have this auto do, because I want, let's see, 10, I don't actually know how many it's going to make per thing, so we'll go with 45. Do I have enough clay to support that? How much clay do I actually have? I've got clay. Oh, just barely under. Alright. And basing. So that's, I think, where our dirt comes in. Yep. So again, you see dirt to the rescue. Stable, sturdy, and great for when you're feeling a bit artsy. Ceramic walls. Alright, well, I'm always feeling artsy. I'm an artsy guy. So let's get artsy here. We've got a lot of walls. So I really like the placement system that they put here. It's smooth, it's nice. Right click changes to background mode, which is totally awesome. You know, nothing to really complain about there. Really the only active complaint I have is the way that you switch items. Oh, and this is a little annoying. I have to build the walls up like that and then place the door and then delete the walls in order to properly handle door and roof placements and stuff. Oh yeah, that's a much better. Enhanced was not a joke. So, alright, we are now trapped in a box, right? Well, let's go ahead and fix that. So we mine out those walls, we mine out these walls. Luckily nothing falls, so that's good. You know, gravity is apparently irrelevant in this land, except to you. Gravity really matters to you. It matters enough that it requires clones to deal with. Where is... okay, doors. So... I always forget. Yeah, so door, clay door. I think I am short on clay, which is a bummer. Yeah, we're going to have to go hunt down some clay to properly build doors. So let's go do some more clay harvesting. Let's see here. Rocks. We don't care about rocks right now. I think that is clay. Yes. So you can already see, right, like just from the basic ways that this plays and sort of how things are going, you know, why that similarity discussion, right, with Terraria is so prevalent. You know, I'm happy about it. I loved Terraria. It was a great game. So, you know, having that as a background on which you base your product is, to me, a pretty sweet thing. You know, Terraria obviously pulled a lot of influences from all over the place, too, so I don't really have any problem with that. These things are annoying. You know, I can't help but feel like they're kind of, like, maybe they'll be more interesting when there's a tactical value to the jetpack beyond sort of interfering in my ability to travel the terrain, which, you know, as a other point, you know, the terrain is pretty difficult to navigate at the beginning. I don't know if you get vehicles and stuff like that at some point, or how you go about doing that. I haven't looked into that, obviously. So let's go ahead and build up some doors here. And we need our clay. We should probably use rocks instead of... oh, can't do that. How about dirt? Conserve our clay resources. I think maybe then I have to do this. Oh, and so here's another thing, right? It would be nice if when I hit 2, if I have enough of the resource, that it just automatically pulls that down. It doesn't. Again, you know, that's maybe something they fix at some point, but it's just kind of a nuisance to have to re-drag new materials over. we've got our doors here. So let's bop those in. And ta-da, we have a nice walled room. I think the clear next objective, as I've pointed out to you before, is that we get this toilet in. I've done this twice in a row now, and, you know, by gosh, this man clearly wants a toilet, so we're going to give it to him. That is, I believe, a science? No, just regular room item. So I like that you can build beds, clocks, and toilets. You know, priorities are priorities, I suppose. So we go with a rock toilet. It's going to be a little uncomfortable on your booty, dude. I'm sorry about that. You know, it's nature. Sometimes you just gotta go, as they just told us. So I don't know how to rotate the toilet. So we're gonna place it. I wonder if we shouldn't. You know what? Okay. We need to be careful with our toilet. It needs to go in a place that's worthy of it. Right? And what's more worthy of the toilet than here? I mean, clearly we need, yeah. Oh yeah, this is a much better idea. All right. So we are going to actually, so I figure since we've got the jetpack already and stuff, we might as well make use of the verticality of our space. So we are going to, damn it, I can't turn the toilet. Well, we're going to have a toilet in a corner. Right. Apparently we can pick it up. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So we've got our placeable toilet. I don't want it to go there. Let's try. No. Okay. We're going to expand this little subterranean wonderland that we are making a little bit. Because why not? There we go. Alright, now the toilet will have a proper den of vile scum and villainy to reside in. There we go, a proper toilet zone. I don't know if there's grates or anything we can place over the floor here so that's not just open, or maybe you can turn the doors sideways. That would actually be kind of a cool, you know, rotate the doors so that they face different directions. We can make a few more clay walls here before we have to go do some more gathering. So you can see I'm still getting used to the keys. They're laid out in a kind of, I don't know, they seem arbitrary to me, like somebody just sort of threw key numbers at the keyboard and was like, yep, that's our key layout. You know, they work. I mean, there's nothing particularly wrong with them in terms of layout. They're just not what you're used to when you play games like this. And, you know, I think that might be something just from a rapid usability standpoint that they might want to look at. Rebinding, again, is I think something I mentioned earlier that I'd like to see, but, you know, we'll find out what they end up doing there. Alright, so we have our entryway. Let's go ahead now and... Oops, that is not the mode. It would be nice also to have, I guess, I don't know if there's a... I see it enters the blue mode. Got it. So we're going to make a nice big main room. So this will expand into our top room, which will have our bed and maybe a table and a computer in it eventually. And then we'll make a weapons room, like an armory here probably. So, alright. With that, I think we're probably going to call this video a stop. Let me know, how things sound, what you think of the game. If you have anything you want me to build, you want to see, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is Birdoggydog. Thanks for watching, guys.